It's Thursday afternoon, about 3 o'clock. Vet left a little while ago. We'll find out tonight for the for sure numbers on Group 3. I'm mixing the last load of feed right now for tonight. My dad just started changing the oil on the generator. As soon as we get done with that, we'll give him a hand, and then I need to change air tubes on the milkers before they start milking at 4, so we need to hurry.
You ready to eat your lunch? One thing is I need to get those air tubes done, and man, we had little. I get that one little blue bucket. I put some soap in there, and water, and dip them in there, we slide right on. We had some good soap, some regular liquid soap, put it in the water, made it a whole lot easier.
So you go to the air tubes, or you go find soap first?
I got some in a bucket. I'm just going to use it. But it's muddy. You better hurry up.
I'll put out feed and then I'll be back in a minute. I know I keep doing these little talks in the tractor, but it's the only place that's quiet and where people aren't staring at me like I'm weird. But that generator, I don't remember when we exactly put it in. For some reason I'm thinking like 10 years ago. I had to be about 10 years ago. Anyway, right now it's got 112 hours on it. We've been meaning to change the oil in it, and we just haven't. Before we didn't have one, and I remember one time I was a kid, I had to be intermediate school or so, and we had a really bad ice storm come in, and I think we didn't have power for like 2 or 3 days. Ended up having to go to a neighbor who used to be in the dairy business but got out and borrowed a generator from him. But yeah, that thing, I mean, car accidents where people hit poles and wipe out the electricity, and I know there's been a few big storms where we lost power for several hours, things like that. You can look up on YouTube, it's all over YouTube, and I think it was April of 2017, if I remember right. Yeah, it had to be April 2017 that the county that I live in, Van Zandt County, in the town's Canton, where we got hit by like 6 or 7 tornadoes in one night. 2 of them were EF4s, and there's an EF1, a couple EF1 and an EF2, and I don't know, it was all over the place. That whole day was very strange. Weather was just weird. I had like 3 electric fences get popped by lightning. I mean, it just disintegrated the wire. It was a very odd day, and I was on the feed lane and with my brother, my older brother, and seen the EF4 go right by us, less than a mile away. Know some people that took direct hits. Houses were leveled. It was pretty nuts. But yeah, we ended up, I think, going a day and a half without power there, and so that generator's, you know, we got it in an auction that's here in town. I can't remember what it was. Crazy number, like $6,000 or something like that is what it sold for. We put it in ourselves, and yeah, it's well worth the money, obviously. But yeah, this is a little story on the generator. So we're gonna go finish changing the oil in it and do the air tubes. Yeah, so that day that the tornadoes hit, I was actually across the road, like where the close-ups are, and we have some heifers, and I was trying to work on fence. And then that's a 30-acre block, and we got it cut up into 6 fields with electric fence. And in that section there was 3 different wires that got struck by lightning, and the wires were just disintegrated, nothing left. And like I would go over there, and then all of a sudden it would downpour and a lot of lightning, so I would leave, go sit in the shop for a little bit, and then it would quit, so I'd go back. I kept having it all afternoon, and then about 5, 6 o'clock started pouring down, so I came and just got underneath the feed lane. Cows were in here eating, and every time there was a lightning strike, you know, the thunder was so bad that all the cows they would all flinch at the same time. And then I was standing somewhere right in here, and I was looking out that way, and my brother was with me, my older brother, and seen this really weird looking cloud, and see everything blowing real strange. And then that was the EF4 that went by within a mile of us. Ended up killing a person that was in their car on the highway. Leveled some houses, and then in a straight line headed west, there's 3 dairies, us, and then a friend of ours, and then his son. So between us and I'm just going to say the father, it was an EF4. On the other side of him was an EF1. And the other side of the son was another EF4. And then there was like 3 other tornadoes through our town and some counties north of us. Anyway, very weird day. I'll never forget that day. But that generator ended up running for like 18 hours before we got power back. So, yeah. Done with the air tube. Yesterday we changed inflation. Not much left to do in here now. Looks all good. So I'll start milking. We'll go finish the generator now. When you start this up in the summertime, spring, early fall, as soon as you press that button to start it, take off running. You're going to get swarmed by yellow jackets. Red wasps. Wrong a while ago. The deal was that we bought a generator. It's an old generator, it's probably from the 70s. I don't know the exact year, but it was all open. It wasn't enclosed, and we paid $6,000 for that one. But like the next month, somebody brought a whole bunch of these, brand new, enclosed, up to the same auction, and then so actually my grandfather ended up taking that old one back and then buying this one for $12,000. Okay, so me and my dad were discussing it, and we figured that, or he said, I don't know. So if he went and bought this new, we're thinking it'd be about $60,000. The whole bottom part of it, the whole black part is a diesel tank. It's probably like 300 gallons. And then, so what you would do, this does have like a trickle charger, but it's not hooked up. And then so we just use this here to keep the battery unhooked. Usually don't have any problems out of it, but or, you know, whatever, the battery. So what you would do is you'd come in and hook your battery up, and that's where I was messing up earlier. I kept thinking it was supposed to go on top, but it was supposed to go underneath. I don't know know what he was doing behind me, but whatever. So you would come over here, hook your battery up, press run. It's all automatic, so you press run, and then it goes through a cycle and starts itself up and warms itself up and everything, and then so once you got it running and warming up, you run on the other side of the barn. We have it's like transfer box, and then come back over here. Then you can flip your breaker on right here. Flip it on. You just want to, leave your breaker off so you don't end up electrocuting somebody. If power just went out and somebody's working on the line, and you send juice to the line, to electrocute somebody working on the power line. So first go switch from utility power to generator. Then come over here. Then flip your breaker on. And then right here you have your voltage and your hertz. Which hertz, you control it right here. And volts right here. Turn it up, turn it down. And where you want this is like 239, 240. And your hertz, you want it on 60. And so you don't really want to, think, I'll put it on like 241, 242 volts. Because, what you could do is you'd be overjuicing things and maybe burning them up. So just right at or a hair less is better than a hair over. So once you have all that set, then you can close these doors and just leave it, let it run. And then when you come, say power's back on, middle of milking, power's back on, you go back over, flip back to utility power on your transfer box, come over here, basically reverse order, turn your breaker off, and then go ahead and press auto. This does have the ability to be run by a remote, but we don't have a remote. So you press auto, and then it does a cool down, and then once it's cooled down to whatever it likes, I don't even know. But once it cools down, it shuts itself off, and then you can unhook your battery or whatever you want to do. We looked it up, and in the last 3 years we've run it 30 hours, so 10 hours a year. Which I looked a while ago. It's a 2006. So somewhere between 2006 and 2009 is when we put it in. We put 111 hours on it. And yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it all down and then close the doors, and I'll show you the transfer box. Just leave that laying there ready to go. It's full of diesel right now. So if the storm that comes in Saturday, it's ready to go. And you can still look through your window to see what your volts and your hertz are while it's running. Just double check. It's got a door on this side too. So right here is your transfer box. It's on the other side of the dairy barn from the generator. Your utility power comes in down the power line through here, through the meter, goes over the transfer box, and then should have 3 sections: utility, off, and generator. So then it goes down and into on the inside wall on the breaker box. So in the event of a power outage, you have your generator running, warming up with the breaker off. Come over to this and then very firmly or quickly slam it down onto generator power so that you get a real good connection, number one. And number two, that way, yeah, basically that's the only reason, just get a good connection. And then you want to keep that breaker off on the generator just so you don't want to somehow, you know, when you go to slam this down, something happens, you don't get a good connection, and so you sending juice into the barn and end up frying something, you know, like when you go to switch it and it's doesn't connect all the way, and so basically you're like flickering the lights, and so best to have that breaker off, get that done, then go around and turn your breaker on, and then set your dials to where you need them. Yeah, so that's how that works. Yeah, so we got the generator all buttoned up, ready to go. Sits right there. We got inflations changed yesterday. I didn't video it, I didn't have time. And we held them up about 30 minutes milking, trying to get the inflations changed. Air tubes came in today, got those changed out. Yeah, so just knocking one or two things off the list every day. I did call today the dealer for the fee wagon, and they had our chain, our half links, and those plastic blocks. It's almost $100, but somebody needs to run up there and pick them up, and then we can work on the conveyor. And yeah, so with all that being said, thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment below, and we'll see you on the next video.